In this video today, we're going to learn how to match a piecewise function with its graph. Okay, we're going to match the piecewise function with its graph. Now, in working these, hopefully between doing the graphs and then doing the evaluating part, you're going to be able to see how I'm going to figure these out. Okay, so I'm going to work 13, 15, and 17, and then you'll do 14, 16, and 18. Okay. So I'm going to work the odd ones. All right. So if I want to match, the point of this is to match the piecewise function with its graph down here. Okay. Now we've already graphed these. We know what they look like. I've already graphed them here for us, and we know what graphs of piecewise functions look like. And we know how to evaluate these up here as well. So if I were to look at number 13, okay, now notice the line that it revolves around is 1 here. So now notice these are in increments of 2 down here because this has a 4 here. So this is going to be 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, so your increments on your axes are in 2s. Now, 1 is my line. So you can tell that these 2 points are at 1. This point is on 0, so there's no way that B is my choice for 13. Okay, these 2 points are on -1, so there's no way that this could be it either, because remember, I'm revolving around this line 1. Okay, so B and C are out. D. Now D is around 1, so I've narrowed it down to A and D. What about E? Is E around 1? Yes, it is, so that's a possibility. But F is around 0, so I've narrowed it down to A, D, and E. Okay, so it can't be these 3 just by looking at this number. Okay. All right, so A, D, and E are my choices. Now, of those choices, let's evaluate at 1. Now notice, if I use 1, this one includes the equal to right here. This equation has the equal to 1. So that means if I put in 1 minus 4, I'm going to get -3. So on A, D, and E, where do I have a filled-in circle at -3? All right, so here's 1, 2, there's where -3 would be. It's not on A. Okay, let's check 3. Here is 1. -3 would be down here. It's not on D. Let's hope it's E, otherwise we're wrong. 1, 2, 3. So there it is. There's my filled-in circle on E. Now let's just check and make sure that the rest of it's right. So if it's greater than 1, this should be an open circle. Okay, I've got an open circle on 1. And if I fill in 1 here, 3 times 1 is 3, and that is at the point 3. So it is choice E. So my answer for 13 is E. Okay, let's go to 15. All right, this time again, I'm revolving around that choice of 1. Okay, it's still 1. So if you'll remember now, 1s were A and E, or A, D, and E, but I've already used E, so that means I've narrowed it down to A and D choices, okay? A and D, because it's the same number, 1, okay? All right, so now let's see if I evaluate at 1. Now, if I evaluate at 1, that's this one right here, because this one includes the equal to. It's less than or equal to. So if I put in 1 here, 3 times 1 minus 2. All right, that's 3 minus 2, which is 1. So I should have the point 1, 1 with a filled-in circle on whichever graph is correct. All right, 1, 1. It's not that one. 1, 1. Okay, that one has it. But let's check and see if the other part's right. So I should have an open circle at 1 on this one. And if I fill in 1 here, that's 1 plus 2, which is 3. And you can see that this is at 1, 3, this open circle is. So my correct answer on 15 is choice D. Okay, pause the video and try to work 17 yourself and see if you can come up with the right answer. Okay, hopefully you worked 17. So this time we're looking at it, and this is -1, -1. So my line is at -1. Now, I have already used choice E and choice D. So I know it's not one of those. So let's see where I've got a line at -1 that I'm working with. All right, A is a 1. We've already established that. B is at 0. That's where that dot's at. C, ooh, that one's at -1, so that's a good option. So it's not B, so possibility of C. Now F is at 0, so it's not that one. So the only choice that I have that 17 could be is choice C. You don't even have to check any of the stuff because just by looking at the -1, you know it's choice C. Now, if you want to check to be sure, we would go here. If it's greater than or equal to -1, I'm going to put in -1. 3 times -1 minus 1. That's -3 minus 1, which is -4. So let's check. At -1, do I have -4 filled in? And I do on C. Okay, if I fill in -1 here, doesn't matter what you fill in, you're always going to get -5. And you can tell that that line goes out on -5 all the way. So our correct answer is choice C. All right, guys, as always, if you have any questions, let me know.